Now we move on to the next paper by Rupesh K and Suraj, Alamtarit Bhagavati.
न गुरुरधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरुरधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. My humble pranams to the lotus feet of Amma Sadguru Shri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi. Namaste. It is indeed an honor to be here in front of this august gathering. Me, Suraj Subramanian and my friend Rupesh Kaleshan from Amrita Vishwavidyapitham Kerala are here to present a paper on the journey of Alamduruthi Bhagavat. Here we are exploring a yatra which is connected to 4 temples, actually 3 Devi temples and 1 Vishnu temple. Here you can see in the screen, this is Alamduruthi Bhagavati temple, which is situated in Pathanamthitta district of Kerala. You may know Pathanamthitta district because Shabarimala is situated there. And the other one is Sri Vallabha temple. It's a Mahavishnu temple. It's one among the 108 Divya Deshams of Sri Vaishnava. And 2 other temples are also in the picture. That is Padappad Bhagavati temple and Karunatagavu Devi temple. Goddess Alamduruthi Bhagavati is Yogamaya, Mahamaya Devi. She is considered as Nandanandini. You may be familiar with that famous phrase in Devi Mahatmya. Nandagopa Grihejada Yashoda Garbhasambhava. The goddess who took birth in Nandagopa's house from Mother Yashoda's womb. That is Nandanandini, Yoga Maya. She is the younger sister of Sri Vallabha, that is Mahavishnu. And 2 other temples, 2 other Devis, which is Padappad Devi and Karunatagavu Devi, they are the divine consorts of Sri Vallabha, Mahavishnu, that is Sri Devi and Bhudevi. One other speciality in this temple, Alamduruthi temple, is Devi is considered as a small infant child who came from the Madhura, from Kamsa's hand. So she's considered as an infant baby. So even though in Kerala it's very famous that we used to have a lot of firecrackers and elephant processions in our temples, but here in Alamduruthi Devi is the little girl, infant baby is afraid of all these things, so we don't have firecrackers and elephants there. Here is the yatra. In the Mrigashirsha Nakshatra, star of Malayalam month Meenam, all these 3 temples, 3 Devi temples, the festival will begins. It's with a traditional Kodiyatam. It's called Kodiyatam, which is the traditional ceremonial flag hosting with all these tantric rituals. After the Kodiyatam, interestingly, all these 3 temples, the Kodiyatam is in the exact same muhurta, same time. After the Kodiyatam, from the 2nd day onwards, Devi starts her journey. As I mentioned earlier, there is no elephants. Instead of elephants, there is a Vahana. It's called Shibika. That vehicle is called Shibika. It's almost like a palanquin, and 2 priests have to take on their shoulders. You can see the Ulsavamurti is placed on the palanquin. And first day, she'll visit the nearby village called Vengal. There, the villagers receive her with various offerings. And she'll take a holy dip there in the Arat Kadava. It's called Arat. That holy dip is called Arat. You may be familiar with Avabhrata Snanam, the word Avabhrata Snanam. That will take place there. And after that, she'll, to show that pleasure and joy and blessings, she'll perform a nritta. It's called Shibika Nritta or Chivita Kali. By the 2 priests, they have to perform a dance called Shibika Nritta with Bhagavati. Then after the Shibika Nritta, she'll come back to her abode. And the 2nd day, she'll again go to that village. Then she further proceed to the next village. Then all the rituals will take place there, and she'll come back. And next day, she'll go to the next village. Finally, in the 8th day, she'll reach the 7th village, which is Tiruvalla, Sri Vallabha temple. There are other two goddesses, which I mentioned earlier, Padappad and Karunatagavu Bhagavathis are also will join with her. In the northern gate of Sri Vallabha will open for these goddesses. And Sri Vallabha and Bhagavathis will enter to Sri Vallabha's abode, and Lord Sri Vallabha, which is Mahavishnu, he'll come out. His Utsavamurti will taken on a palanquin called Garuda Vahana. You can see the form of Garuda. He's carrying Sri Vallabha Mahavishnu on his shoulders. And Sudarshanamurti will also come out, and both the Bhagavathis will accompany Sri Vallabha and Sudarshanamurti besides. Alandurti Bhagavati will, there is a concept like once Bhagavati, Sri Vallabha and Alandurti Bhagavati, seen together, they look each other, then that gaze should not interrupted. So Alandurti Bhagavati will proceed backwards. Like in that way, the pradakshinas will start. After three pradakshinas, that all these three goddesses will dance in their joy. It's called Shipika Nrittam again. And after this Shipika Nrittam, both Sri Vallabha and Alandurti Bhagavati will enter to Sri Vallabha's Garbhagraha. In Kerala tradition, it is usually one deity will not enter to another temple's Garbhagraha, but here Alandurti Devi will enter to Sri Vallabha's Garbhagraha, because both the Bhagavati, Yogamaya and Sri Vallabha is considered as two aspects of one Shakti, like the burning power and the fire and its burning power. After all these rituals, it's called Uttra Sri Bali because it falls on the Uttra Bhalguna Nakshatra of Meenam month, of Malayalam month Meenam. Then all these three Bhagavatis will go for the 7th Arat, 7th holy bath, holy dip. Then they'll come back to the temple and they'll get back to their abodes, respective abodes. You can see she's going out to the northern gate. Okay, then Rupesh will continue.
Thank you, Suraj. Just like the climax of a suspense thriller movie, I'm going to ask you a question. Does this Yatra of Alandurti Bhagavati ring a bell to you? Does it resembles anything at all? It's a question. Exactly. Somebody said here. It's like, remember, she's traveling on one day to one place, take a holy dip, comes back. On the next day, she will go again, cover some more distance, take a dip and come back. Third day, she will go again. She goes like that for 6 consecutive days. And on the 7th day, she reaches Sri Vallabha temple, where Sri Vallabha is the main deity. Both of them face each other. That gaze will not be interrupted. And both of them enter the sanctum sanctorum, Garbhagriha of Sri Vallabha. And the Ulsavam comes to a conclusion. Now I guess you would have got it. It comes India, which is a land which has produced many symbols, which conceals very profound philosophical ideas, has here brought some very esoteric tantric tradition brought into a temple ritual in a very beautiful way. So we will explore that and we will try to brief it. So to tell about the Kundalini, Kundalini comes from the root word Kund, which means a deep place, cavity, or you can assume the root word Kundal also, which means coiled up. So according to Tantra, there are many tantric references, some of them like Tantra Rajatantra, the serpent power, John Woodruff, many. Sharada Tilagam, Hada Yoga Pradipika, which also quotes from the verses 105, 106, 107, etc. about Kundalini. So Kundalini is considered as the latent, dormant power inside a being in a jiva, which resides like it's sleeping down under the base of the spine. So now, when you see, like when my friend Suraj was telling, he was telling the Devi is worshipped in the form of an infant, and that's the reason why there are no firecrackers. there could be another probable reason too, since it's a symbolic representation of Kundalini. So the Devi Alanturthi Bhagavati is considered as Kundalini, and since she is in a very sleepy mood, dormant way, that's why there are no firecrackers. This is not my assumption. This is the information which I have got from the male chief priest of that temple. So that's about Kundalini. 5 minutes, yeah. So then there are about energy centers according to tantras. The numbers differ from different tantras, but assumingly, like, we can take 6 main important chakras or the energy centers starting from upwards: Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, Anahata, Vishuddha, Ajna, and the Sahasrara Padma. And Tantra says about different lotuses, imagining lotuses, different colors, etc. And then there are these nadis, which are subtle pranic channels through which the electric current like prana flows. And the 2 prominent nadis are Ida and Pingala, which runs flanking across the Sushumna nadi, which runs through the middle of the spine. So this Ida and Pingala nadi here, which are considered as the solar and the lunar line of channels, are represented by the 2 other Devis, which my friend Suraj was telling. Anyway, we will come to the comparison part. So here, Alamturthi Bhagavati in fact represents the Kundalini Shakti of that village, of that desha. Padapadu and Karnataka Bhagavati represents the Ida and Pingala Nadi. And 3 of them will meet together on the 7th day. And 7 Aratu Ghats means the places where they take the holy dip, comes back, represents the chakras. Sri Vallabha temple, indeed the Sahasrara Padma, and Sri Vallabha the consciousness where the Kundalini Shakti emerges, and Sudarshana as the Kriya Shakti, Kriya power. So that's our actual title of our paper was Yatra of Alamturthi Bhagavati, a Vaishnava depiction of Kundalini traversing through Shat Chakras. But if we keep the title in the beginning, maybe we cannot ask you that question in the middle, whether this resembles anything. So we intelligently removed that title. Coming to the conclusion, there are 3 main conclusions. One is Devi goes through these villages and bless the people there. The second thing is very beautifully, like, I respect the cultural intelligentsia of our ancestors who has actually devised such a way where the otherwise esoteric tantric tradition is hidden. Now when the people participate in this festival, unknowingly they are getting exposed to some parts of the tantra. So let us acknowledge, appreciate the intelligence of our ancestors and take it forward. Thank you.